We are live.
Oh, I swear, sometimes I think if it wasn't for the show on Mondays, it's like, I mean, because, like our schedules, have been just like absolutely horrible,
Totally conflicting too.
you know? So it's like, if it wasn't for the Monday show, it's like, I guess we would just be like texting each other back and forth.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Yeah,
Yeah.
so like if I disappear because I'm on Avatar and you don't know, it's because I have to drop the kids off at the pool. I had
Oh,
big
no.
old
Okay.
pot of this morning. I'll be like, I'll be back. Don't
Right.
sweat.
Yeah. Okay. That's no problem.
Shoot.
What a way to start the morning.
Yeah. It's the best way to start the morning. I just wish I would have got to that point a little sooner.
Right. Oh, well.
But I just got to where I was fixing my own coffee, taking my own medication, and functioning.
Right.
Even though I've been awake.
Right. Oh, okay. All right. So have you been feeling better at least, or is it just
Actually, yes.
Oh, okay.
I have been feeling a lot better, and I think part of it is because we got a new mattress, and I do this thing at night called sleep.
Oh.
Holy shit. Sleep is amazing. Sleep is a beautiful thing.
No, there are 3 things that I learned that you should never, ever, ever be cheap on. And that's shoes, chairs, and mattresses.
Dude, you ain't never lying.
Like, I mean,
I didn't even know I could sleep that long. And plus, like, a lot of the, like, I'm not saying, oh, I'm cured because I got a mattress. No, I'm still hurting, but I do not feel like I have been for the past, like, year.
Right. Yeah, no, because the same thing happened when we changed our mattress. It's like, because, yeah, once we got we got rid of that, and we've got, like, and it took me a while to, like, research this foam mattress because I didn't realize like how complicated stupid foam mattresses were.
Yeah, they're crazy.
So but yeah, it's like, yeah, so don't be cheap on shoes, on chairs, and on mattresses.
It'll change your life. You'll be like Jack Skellington. What's this? What's this?
It's a full 8 hours of sleep.
Oh my God. Good morning, motherfuckers. It is January 12th, 2026.
Already.
And this is the Ragin 2 Love Vlogs.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
It's like time really is speeding up. I mean, I don't like
it. Just fall in line, soldier. All right. Ma'am, are you ready for this?
Absolutely not, but hit it.
All right.
Trigger warning. Fuck you.
Fuck you. Good morning, Daphne.
Good morning, Nita. Good morning. And good morning, everybody, on this already mid-January week. Jesus Christ. So who's joining us today in the chat?
We got, let's see who's all here. Okay, so we got
Roll
Lou,
call.
we got Seth, Rob, Melissa.
Hello.
My future baby mama.
Oh, right. Oh my goodness.
Melissa says she thought it, dude, I swear to God.
It's been,
but it's weird because sometimes it seems like everything is just flying by.
No,
and
for
then
real.
And then the next day, it's like every minute will feel like an hour. It's
Right.
like, what the fuck is going on with this shit?
What is it like? The days are long, but the years are short.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's like, I mean, it just, because it's kind of like, just a couple of weeks ago, I was talking about like what I was going to schedule out for the year. And now it feels like I'm behind already. we're not even officially 2 weeks into the year, and it's like, oh, behind. And yes, I see you, our beautiful eyeball people watching us from regions beyond. If you're watching us from
Ma'am, that is all I want. I'm bred. I have 4 sexually. I already have 4 sexually transmitted dependents. Okay, the cats are cool now. Cats are great.
Oh my goodness. And if you're watching us from Facebook, if you're still watching us on Facebook after that, please remember to like, share, and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever any of our shows go live so you don't miss any of this mess. Oh my goodness.
Professionals.
Right, we're professionals. On what planet? On the planet where the definition of professional is completely different.
Ma'am, have you not watched the news? This is as good as it gets.
No, actually, no. I haven't been watching the news, but it's like the split seconds that I do. It's like, oh, now I remember why I don't watch the news.
I'm going back to my hole. Thank you very much.
Yeah, exactly. So hello, everyone. My name is Daphne Lage, and I'm a cartoonist, illustrator, and comic book artist from New York. I have been self-publishing comics since 1992, and you know what that means.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
Oh my God. And I am the artist for the furry fantasy adventure Tall Tales and the creator of Eagle Raven, Heir of the First Unicorn, a medieval fantasy drama you can read online at eagleworks.com. That's EGOWOR. Would help if I'd spell my own website properly. EGOWORKS. And if you are following the series on Kickstarter, the pre-launch page for issue 12 is now live. Issue 12 of this 16 issue series. So head on over to the link in the chat and make sure you hit the notify me button, and you will get notified when the campaign goes live so you don't miss out on anything. Also, you can check out all my videos. Now we're at 700 and something videos in the archive on how I make my comics here on YouTube at my channel at Daphne Lage, Lage Art, where last I checked, I am one subscriber away from 1,100 subscribers. Not that that supposedly means anything to YouTube in general, but it's nice. It's nice. Oh, and also joining me today, the co-host with the co-most.
Whatever that means.
Nita.
Hey, good morning. That's
all everyone gets today.
That's what they get.
That's what they get. Yeah. I mean, really, it's maybe that's all everyone deserves. I don't know. Oh my goodness. But yeah, so what's been going on with you other than getting a new mattress that has been changing your life?
Oh, I'm doing everything in the world to keep myself busy and distracted.
Right.
So I actually have restarted the bathroom quest.
Oh, okay. So so the remodel continues.
Yes, we're back to it. So that's pretty much it. I'm either buried in comics or I am in the bathroom covered in paint.
Oh, okay. So I guess like the office just hasn't rectified itself yet, right? There
is no office. There is a vanity in the kitchen with the fucking computer system set up on it right now.
All right.
Like it took a back seat to some other shit that now needed to get done.
Right. Oh, but congratulations on finally getting rid of your dead body freezer in the backyard.
Oh my God. It was so great. It was so great. I didn't even know. Like, yeah, dude, crackheads are the best sometimes. You give them motherfuckers $50 and they'll do anything for you.
Right. Just say that there's like copper wiring in there they can take.
Like, yep. That's all it took was 50, and it disappeared like in the middle of the night. Didn't even know he'd come and got it. I walked around outside the other day because I thought a pipe bust when it froze.
Right.
And I hit as soon as I got to the back, I was like, what the fuck? Because it looked like something was missing, but I was upset because I was like, I thought it was the kids' bikes or something. I just knew there was a big section of missing shit.
Right.
And then it was like, oh shit. He came and got the fucking freezer. It's like, wow.
There you go.
So now I know who to call.
Well, there you go. Right. You tweaking? We got some work for you.
Yo.
I remember reading like some kind of like post or something how this guy was talking about like he worked overnights. That's true. He worked overnights in a supermarket, and he said that the best people to work with were tweakers. Because they would practically alphabetize the aisles.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh
like
my
they
god.
Had like they're like little soldiers. Every can and jar would be lined up like perfectly.
Look, dude, one time so like one of my first jobs was Super Walmart. And they had those big round bins with the random cheap videos in it.
Right, yeah.
No order, nothing. Just a whole bunch of bins. And I think the videos were marked for like $5 or whatever.
Yeah.
We had a tweaker come in, and me and like 6 other employees had to sit down around that bin while that motherfucker stacked and organized and separated he didn't even work there.
And
this is a tweaking customer.
He just needed something to do.
Dude, we just like, and then when he was about halfway through, one of the assholes I work with walked over there, stuck his arm in the basket, and walked all the way around the thing and mixed everything back up. Motherfucker didn't get mad or nothing. He just started over.
Right, because what else is he doing, right? I mean, sometimes I have to envy that level of focus. Not how they got there, but just in general, that level of focus.
Oh shit.
Oh my god. So what are you going to do with the empty space then? You're going to put more like raised beds or something?
I'm going to surround my back patio with raised beds and put up like some rattan or bamboo or whatever it is, shade blockers to block off the townhouses behind us.
Right.
And I'm going to create my fucking pot smoking sanctuary on the back patio, my bird feeders and my goldfish pond. And yeah.
Oh, you can have a goldfish pond back there?
I'm gonna. It'll be a raised pond. I'm not going to dig it out.
Right.
But I've been watching some videos. I'm going to make a bench with a freaking, like, about a 45-gallon goldfish pond. Put 2 goldfish in it. Yeah, so.
Right. Oh, so
just
that.
So I can fight off predators at night. Me and the raccoons can fight. Don't you eat my baby.
There's like, buffet. It's a sashimi buffet.
Get the fuck off my property. Yeah. I just need a space. And an office is the space that I need for myself. Right. But I need a space for myself where I just can disassociate and it's okay.
Right. Yeah, kind of.
Bro, speaking of disassociation.
Oh, okay, sure.
Oh my God. Like, this is how hard I disassociated.
Oh no. Well, hey, it's like you said, you turn on the TV. It's like, turn it on, turn it off. That's it. That's all you need.
Oh shit. Okay, there it is. Oh, I don't know what's going on with my microphone. Anyway, so like yeah, have you ever just been like in the middle of doing chores or something, and then all of a sudden you just come to and you're like in a room and you're holding a bottle of furniture polish one rag one hand and a banana in the other and wondering how you got here?
I mean, I may be similar. I think I'm more of the person who like, I need to go get something, and then by the time I enter the room, it's like, what was I supposed to get? I'm more like that.
Well, this totally happened, but you know what's crazy? It's like, I don't know, it was a combination between a manic phase and some California edibles hitting. Well, I just started working. And it was like, I hadn't been getting anything done, but this past weekend I I don't know how. Something came over me. I got up and I started moving. And once I did, I didn't stop.
So what did you accomplish? And where did the banana come in?
I'm still not sure why I was carrying the banana around.
Maybe it was a snack. Maybe you meant to eat it.
All I remember is I came into the kitchen to get furniture. Oh, no, wait. I came into the kitchen to wash a couple dishes because I was going to make a cup of coffee. The cup of coffee turned into the kids left dishes in the sink. So I started loading the dishwasher. When I was loading the dishwasher, I decided to run and go look for dishes. Well, then I found clothes on the bathroom floor. So I picked them up. It was one of them things. It was the ADHD train.
Oh, right. And then it's like, oh, yeah, you look, and now it's like, now you're finding clothes and you're forgetting the dishes. And now there's a banana coming out of nowhere.
The bench setup is only until I move them to my tank.
There you go.
It's really it's a grow out.
Right. Oh my goodness. But yeah, it's like me, I've just been working. I am officially 3 pages away from finishing this goddamn issue that's been taking me forever. Although honestly, it's like all my previous issues have been taking forever. But this one, yeah, I'm 3 pages plus 1 panel, 2 panels away. And the reason why, like, this one particular panel I'm listing separately is because what it is that it's a full panel, background panel that I have to make. And then it's like 3 different sections of that panel is going to be like different backgrounds for these other panels that don't have backgrounds yet. So it's kind of like animation style that it's like, I just figure it's like, let me just do 1 full panel and then just use the parts of it, of that background the way I need it. So, so I'm 3 pages away from finishing Eager Raven issue 12, although I still have to flat it, but that shouldn't take me that long. It's just putting in, it's just like the inking and the shading that's taking me the longest. But it really does, I don't know, it really does annoy me as to like how long I have been taking. But like I said, the in previous shows, it's like I'm sitting here kind of wondering, is that it's like, am I really behind, or is this just how long it takes me to do an issue? And should I just accept it for what it is, you know? But but that kind of like that kind of led into the topic, like why people think this shit's easy. Because the other day, I'm just watching YouTube and kind of like, and to again kind of like really curate my experience and to keep myself from like ending, because like I said, when the algorithm notices you haven't been there a while, when you hit that main page, it is trying really hard to like throw like really, really like incendiary stuff at you, trying to get you back into the pattern of, into the looping pattern of, just clicking on videos. So what I did was I have it set up so when I click on the YouTube link on Chrome, it goes straight to my subscriptions, not to the recommended page, the main page. So only the people, so when done correctly, only the people that I'm subscribed to, those are the only videos that I see. And because of that, I decided to subscribe to like a whole bunch of channels that I usually watch regularly. So I have this whole list of people, HR, and so that way I get as many people that I know I watch, in my subscription feed. But I ended up learning that for as many people as I follow, only very few of them actually make videos on a regular basis. And when I mean on a regular basis, I'm talking like at least once a week. Like, it's just kind of funny to like realize how many people like like they really don't make a lot of videos. And then like depending on the quality of the videos, like there are people who could have like really big channels with very few videos, or you end up like me where it's like you have over 700 videos but you only have a subscriber base of like almost 1100 people. So yeah, I've been getting like a big jump on my channel lately. I don't know what it is. Like I think maybe like the making sure that the titles actually match what we're talking about helps. But also like I was just playing around with more shorts lately. Like on my last 2 draw streams, I produced shorts from the video, and they seem to get a lot of traction. Like I have one video that's like within like an hour I had like 800 views.
Oh yeah.
But the funny thing is that I think like the way I made them, they don't technically count as short views. Like they're listed as shorts, but they don't count toward. I mean, yeah, I guess it's because they're like, I guess like a short only counts as if it's 30 seconds, and the ones that I've been putting up are like a minute or something, or a little over a minute. So I don't know. It was just annoying, but
so weird.
Yeah. But I have gotten like a jump in subscribers, but like in the end, it's like as much as I like to see that number go up, it's not really meaningful in terms of the algorithm, because what the algorithm wants to see is engagement, not subscribers. I'm stuck at 98. Must try harder. Hey Lou. So one of these stray videos that popped up, right? This girl that this woman, I call them girls because it's like they're all in their 20s, for fuck's sake.
And we have vaginas too, so we allowed to do that.
We're it's like, so these
that's our word now.
These Artist Alley. So this was one of like the Artist Alley girlies I used to watch, but I kind of stopped watching Artist Alley content.
She's a 30-year-old mother of 4, but okay.
Yeah, I know. But she's a girly. And she had posted about how she had been doing Artist Alleys, like anime shows and stuff since like 2018, I think. And then she like kind of like hit her peak during COVID, like most people. And then it's like just this last year, she had like her biggest, like con season yet. But she says it's like that she doesn't think that it's very sustainable, because of the fact that, these conventions are extremely hard to get into. There's a lot of competition to get into. If it's even competition, sometimes you're just up against the lottery and that's it. There is no competition,
Right.
And then it's like, she was talking about like how she started and blah, 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 this whole thing, like 20 minutes of just like, okay, what the fuck are you going to announce? Right. Because I was just watching just to have something in the background. And then she was talking about this whole thing about like, she doesn't want to like, it's like, oh, I don't want to be in my 50s and still be doing conventions, which always makes me go, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, And, and she was talking about how she's, like going back, like she's kind of like going to be reducing her convention appearances. And it's like, and she's going to be working on her comic instead. Oh, right. Which if it wasn't for the fact that all this girl did, like she said that she only started really drawing in 2015, and all her convention appearances have ever been is about t-shirts and tchotchkes, and like there's nothing up until this point that ever showed that she was leaning towards comics or doing comics, right? And then now all of a sudden, because she loves manga so much and loves watching anime, that now she's going to focus on doing a comic, and it's like, look, on one hand, I'm like going, okay, you go girl, do whatever the fuck, good luck, babe, type of thing, right? And then on the other hand, it's like, what is it with comics that makes people think that they could just jump into it and do it? Like it's not like some kind of like skill set that you have to learn. you know? That's like, oh, it's just all random pictures put together and you put like dialogue in it, it should be okay, right? You know, that type of thing. You know, like she's never even shown that she could even write a complete story. Like, you know, it's like that we were just talking on the previous shows about, you know, people who it's like they fart out an idea on the back of a napkin. It's like, oh, we got to get that issue 1 done. And then by issue 3, they're like, oh shit, I don't know where the story goes. And then they disappear, right? You know, so that's kind of like what I keep seeing, what I'm seeing with this girl that I'm watching. That's like, oh, I'm going to do a comic and blah, blah. And I was like, you know, like bitching about it to Jose. And he goes, how many subscribers does she have on YouTube? And I go, I don't know, like 3,000 or something. And I was like, what about TikTok? And I go, she has 7,000 subscribers.
She'll be fine.
You know, and that's what he said. It's like she can shit out whatever she wants. And she'll probably have enough people that'll buy it from her, regardless if it's garbage or not. You know, and it's like, and honestly, and in the end, I don't know which made me feel worse. You know, the fact that this girl's like going, I'm going to do a comic, you know, or the fact that because she built her audience, she has this unrelated audience, you know, it's like that it's like a comic, like she could have done anything. She could have just said, oh, I'm going to do crochet now, or I'm going to do, you know, and they would have bought it anyway. Because there was that thing that I was talking about a while ago where it's like, what a lot of creators forget is that nobody's buying, like people aren't really focused on your work. They're focused on you. And if you build a big enough audience, then any creative output that you do is more of a parasocial accessory rather than something they're actually interested in. So, which even then, when I first heard about that was like that whole concept, it was kind of like depressing. And I think like this just only, you know, kind of like hit it home that it's like, you know what, as much as it irritates me that this woman thinks that she could just, you know, string a couple of pretty pictures together and think that it requires her to become a skeleton that runs on spite and elder cars. Yes, no, it really feels like that a lot of the time. You know, but it's like, no, she could just string a couple of like pretty pinups and whatever, put like some basic ass story there. And then it's like, oh, you know, and then she'll probably be a hit on Webtoon or something because she already has this built-in audience that'll just eat up whatever, what she does, you know, and it's kind of like, you know, and it's kind of just adds to the frustration of doing comics, or at least for me, where it's kind of like, it's like, it's like, you know, all the work that we put into, you know, like trying to finish our stuff and doing our books and setting up Kickstarters. And in the end, it kind of like, it just feels like, oh, you know, if I just did bullshit on YouTube first, you know, it's like it would have made this easier, I guess, or something. Or it's like if I just like really grind it out at conventions and then with YouTube, and then if I treated my artwork as like the last thing, then I don't know. It's like, but then again, right? But then again, I have to remember too is that people who think that way, that's like, oh, I'll just do a comic and whatever. It's like they're a dime a dozen. You know, that it's like, you know, because also the other thing too, like there's this woman that I used to watch that I stopped watching once I realized that she wasn't really selling the idea of being a successful artist on YouTube. She was selling the fantasy of being a successful artist on YouTube. You know, where it's like on one video she had said that she had earned $100,000 off of everything else but her artwork. You know, where it's like her actual artwork she only made $2,000 on, but $2,000 on, but everything else that she made was by convincing other artists that they could be successful on YouTube. Just follow her plan. And it's bitch, you couldn't even succeed off of your own plan. Yeah. You know, and it's like, and it wasn't until it's like I finally like really paid attention to that it's like going, oh, I gotta stop following art grifters. You know, and it's like, you know. And the fun, you know, and it's kind of like, and it kind of like, it's not like this woman with her artist alley shit, like it's not any good, but to kind of just like, oh, I could pivot anywhere and people will follow me. So it doesn't matter if I'm actually good at it or not. Like it's almost like you can see that it's like, oh, it's this, it's kind of like, the whole thing, with AI, that all of a sudden people who kind of like suck think that the AI, that generative tech is going to make their lives easier, when all it is just, no, it's like, you still suck. Because we see the garbage you're making with generative tech, and it's garbage. Garbage in, garbage out, right? So it's like, and the thing that bothered me also about the other woman that I stopped watching was that every time someone came to her for advice, it's like no matter what they did, her suggestions was always do a comic. Do a comic, do a webtoon, really like build into the world building of your illustrations and your crochet and your ceramics. And it's like, no matter what they did, it was always do a webtoon. And it's like, it's like, why do people like this think that comics is not a separate discipline? I mean, and it's just like kind of really like I said, it's like on one hand, it's like I'm like going, yeah, do a comic, and then the other hand, it's like going, you don't, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like I don't know. It's like I think it's more like a personal thing. I mean, like in the end, it would have to be, because it's like it's like, look, I don't think that there was ever one point in my career where I thought this shit was easy. Like even now, it's like I'm crying about like, why is this shit taking me so long to do? Why is it taking me 4 months to do a fucking issue? Which in the end, I kind of figured it was more like a scheduling / time scheduling issue, rather than that I can't do an issue in a month. But I don't know. I guess it's like, I don't know. It's like, I guess I didn't like the impetus to actually fix that hasn't been enough to actually make me fix that, So I don't know. It's just like, and then it's like there was like this similar video that was DeviantArt. It's always DeviantArt. This other video that I saw where it was this woman who did craft shows and had nothing to do with comics, right? But there was something in the attitude that was kind of similar, right? Where this woman was pretty much calling everybody out who would say that, oh, it's the algorithm, and oh, people don't want to buy handmade crafts anymore, and this, that, and the other thing, And she's like going, no, it's not the algorithm. It's not that people are buying handmade goods all the time. Yeah, people see successful comics and go, I want that. See shitty comics and go, I can do that, and learn all the wrong lessons. Yeah, I think that's what it is. And it kind of like reminds me of what Jose says, that it's like, just because you like something doesn't mean you have to do it. Like, there's nothing wrong in remaining a fan, but that's kind of like a different conversation. Actually, no, it's not. But I don't want to forget my point. So this woman was saying that, people are buying handmade goods all the time. What it is that if people tell you your shit's too expensive, oh, I could do that, this, that, and the other thing, she says that it's because you're presenting yourself in a way that gives people permission to do that. That it's kind of like victim blaming. It's like, oh, if you're struggling in a certain sphere where other people aren't, it's because you're the problem, not like an overreaching issue, right? It's kind of like, and it's kind of like, okay, how do I separate the two, right? Is it this really a me problem, or is this like an overarching thing, right? And and I think that's kind of like what irritates me about this girl, that it's like, yeah, Jose is right, that she probably will do whatever shitty comic she's doing, probably only make it for like a couple of issues and then decide that, oh, this is hard, and quit. But, people are still going to buy it anyway, so it's like, and it's, and it just kind of like, I don't know, it just kind of put me in a little bit of a spin because of that, where it just feels like, like, even for as much work as I've done, it's like every person who supports my book is fucking earned, like there is no, this came easy. It's like, no, every single person, all 130 to 150 people that support Eagle Raven, every single person was earned. And the fact that they stay definitely means that was earned. because it's like, if they didn't like my stuff, they wouldn't stay,
right.
So, and it was just kind of like, like I said, I just went kind of like into like this little thing. And it's like, and we see that all the time when we watch other people's shows. There's always like a cavalcade of people who just woke up one morning in their 40s and decided they were going to be a successful comic book publisher, and then it's like, oh yeah, look, it's like, yeah, it's cool, and this and that and the other thing. And you could tell right off the bat they have no idea what they're doing.
Yeah.
But it's like, but it's like, in the end, it's like I can only just sit back and it's like going, oh, there's, future roadkill, future roadkill on, on the road that I'm on. That's in the end, it's like that. It's either, it's like, okay, congratulations, good luck, babe. And then in the back of my head, it's like, future roadkill.
Eek.
You'll be lucky if you make it past issue 3, So I don't know. It's like, maybe it's just me being cranky. Like we do. Yeah. It's like, I'm kind of, I'm just like going through the constant struggle of trying to finish my book. And then it's like some dumb bitch online going, oh, I'm going to do a comic. So it's like, look, and the only thing that I can just, think about is sit back, and it's like going, I'm gonna, it's like, no matter what, I'm gonna still be doing this when you decide that it's too hard.
Oh my gosh.
So I don't know. So like I said, maybe I'm just being, cranky about it. But then again, it's like, even when I'm trying to avoid the news, it's kind of hard not to let some of that stuff get through. And it's just like, oh my God. It just kind of like taints everything. Oh, speaking of, I think we're officially done with Twitter, right?
Yeah, I'm deleting stuff as we speak.
Yeah, I think we're kind of done with it, right? I mean, it's like, now that it's become like
it's a media hole.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, we're kind of done with it, because it's like the other day I was trying to like remember my my password for House of Bob. I finally figured it out. I had forgot that I had an authenticator app for it, but what I did was make sure that all my images were off of it, and that I just had a link. Like for House of Bob, I just have it, find me on Fur Affinity, and I just left it at that. And I removed all my artwork. I even like changed the banner and the icon to something really generic. And then for my main page, I did the same thing. I changed the icon and everything, something generic, and I go find me at my website and left it at that,
Right.
I'm not going to delete the accounts, because again, it's like, it's like, look, I always
I'm going to just put my link
Meredith in my head going, like, no, you have to squat your name. Don't give anybody the opportunity to take your name. Just, just leave it there. Even if you don't do nothing with it, just leave it there. That's what I did. It's just like, put in reroute links so you can find me off of Twitter. But yeah, now I don't have to worry about Twitter anymore. So it's like, when I do like updates, like reprints of my books, I have to take Twitter off of everything. I'm thinking of just removing all references to social media altogether and just either leaving like a link tree or just having everybody just go either to my straight to the mailing list or straight to my website. I mean, it's just like having to delete and organize. It's like, oh, well, I'm not on Instagram anymore. Well, I'm not here anymore. And it's like, and it just seems easier to just send everybody to one place. i.e. the website. I mean, it's like in the end, it's like that's why it's important to have a website so that no matter what happens, your website is always there for people to go to. So Twitter is kind of also the funny thing with Twitter, but not in a haha kind of way, considering the House of Horrors that's been that's right. Especially become lately. That it just goes to show you that all of this hand wringing and teeth gnashing and whatever about protecting the children and having to kick hentai artists off of platforms really have nothing to do with that.
Absolutely not.
That it's like one of the artists I was following on Facebook was given an ultimatum by Facebook to remove all their artwork from Facebook, or else they were just going to get banned completely. And they're a hentai artist, but they knew all along that they can't post the hardcore stuff on Facebook. So we're talking about just like sexy images or whatnot. But they said, no, you have to remove everything.
No,
right?
God.
And it's like, and I'm sitting there going, meanwhile, it's like all of a sudden, all these MasterCard, Apple, they have no problem with the child porn machine that X is now. And it's like, but they're harassing an adult artist off of Facebook because of decency standards. And it's like, and it really just goes to show you how all of this is fake.
Well, it is, because creatives don't fall in line, Daphne.
No, they don't. And it's like, and really, like, even when it comes to things, even when it comes to like pornography, it's not that they have a problem with pornography. They just want the people that they approve of to make that pornography.
That's it.
That's it. That's why, it's like, oh, and that reminds me of, another video that I saw that's not really related, but kind of tangentially related, right? So advertising, right? So this was a video about if nobody watches ads, then what's the point of advertising, right? And they were talking about how the biggest buyers of advertising are companies that literally don't need it. Where it's like, it's like all these big brands like Coke and Nike, like literally their advertising is like so word of mouth. They could literally stop advertising tomorrow and people will they'll still be behemoths. It's like they're people would still be buying Nike and Coke, And so they were talking about like, okay, so then what's the point of advertising then, right? Especially when, like research keeps showing that people don't sit through advertising, right? So because there's always this thing, right? When we talk about Kickstarters, like, oh, you have to advertise, right? But nobody has ever been able to advertise successfully without spending a shit ton of money, right? And according to this article, right? According to this video that I was watching, that's the point. So in one of my, forays of talking to Gemini, trying to figure out how useful it actually is, which it's less useful than it is more annoying, because like I said, the amount of work that I have to do to rewrite everything that Gemini gives me, it's almost like frustrating. It's like, okay, you give me this little blurb, but I have to spend like the next 20-30 minutes trying to rewrite it so it doesn't sound stupid, because this Gen Tech is stupid and corny. So I remember asking it, Like, if I had a budget of $200 to spend on Facebook, how would I do a Facebook ad campaign? And the shit literally scolded me. Like, it's literally like Gemini is literally going, you're kidding me, right? $200 for an ad campaign on Facebook? Like, it's
right.
the equivalent to that. I'm convinced. Oh, go back to that. I'm convinced all my years in agency that advertising is just to keep rich executives rich. You're not that far off. Like, and then I asked, like, okay, so what do you recommend? Right? If I wanted to make 10K on Kickstarter, how much money in advertising do I have to spend to make that 10K?
8K.
Well, it would feel like Gemini says you have to spend at least $2,000 for every 10K you want to make on Kickstarter. And I go, bitch, if I had 2K just lying around, I wouldn't be spending it on Facebook ads. Right? So,
you know,
I have a love-hate relationship. No, it's not even a love-hate relationship. It's kind of like an annoying, like, oh, fuck you again. You know, it's that cousin that keeps showing up to the house without, like, oh, fuck.
Everything is full of shit, Mark. Everything.
Yeah. You know, so it's like, and then it's like I remember, like, this guy who would talk about, like, he buys Facebook ads and it always worked for him and he did really well on Kickstarter until he revealed that in 1 year he spent $24,000 on ads on Facebook. And it's like, again, fuck you, you know? So again, going back to this video, if nobody looks at ads, right? Oh, and also before I get to the reveal, right? There was also this other thing, right? Where it's like the more ads people see, the less likely they were to buy a product. But if you did not play your ads enough, nobody saw the ads. So there's like this sliver of threshold that your ad would have to meet for people to see it and say, I want that. But most of the time, when you run ads, they either don't see it because it doesn't run enough, because guess what? You're not spending enough money. Or if they see it too much, they just block you. You know, and we've spoken about this before, that it's like, if I just keep seeing the same ads over and over again, I just block the person until, like, after that campaign is done. You know? And if I just don't, well, actually, I run a Chrome extension that just blocks all ads on Facebook altogether. So I don't see anybody anymore. So the big reveal of this video was that if nobody sees ads, if nobody watches ads and nobody reacts to ads, then what's the point of them? And the point of them is that these companies buy ads for the sole purpose of making them incredibly expensive so that no competitor can get a foothold in the market. That's the purpose of advertising. It's not really to sell you stuff. It's to keep competitors away from you. It's to keep competitors from showing their products. You know, it's kind of like the whole thing as to, like, why Marvel and DC, like, they do like 10 different versions of X-Men and Batman. Like, Batman has like 17 different books. Spider-Man has like 87 different books. Like how can there be that? Why are they making that many books? And, you know, it has nothing to do with the quality of the book. It has everything to do with pushing out extra space from comic book stores so that other companies cannot have space. They don't have the space to compete, because a comic book store would rather have 37 Spider-Mans than 37 independent comics. You know, so so it's kind of like that. It's kind of like that similar tactic. What they're doing is that they're flooding the market with advertising so that you don't see anything else. So if you want advertising to be effective, you have to spend significant money to work through that noise. But it's made expensive on purpose. So it's like that's also another that's also like the other thing that made me go marketing's bullshit. Because it's like I am not going to give Facebook $2,000 just in the hopes that like 10 of the right people will see my ad and go to my Kickstarter and spend money there. And that's also the thing too. It's like also the other thing that I read, that it's like for every 10,000 subscribers that a YouTube channel has, you'll be lucky if 100 people are actually active on your channel. So which means that at 1,000, so at like even like at 1,000 subscribers to my channel, I'm lucky if I have like 10 people who watch regularly.
Right.
And even then it's like even more if they like engage with the video somehow, like either they're in the comments or they're, like they're posting comments or they're in the chat during the live or something, or it's like, so I mean, it was just kind of like depressing, that just to kind of like, wow, it's like everything is purposefully stacked against us. And it's like the amount of work that we have to do to like stand out that has nothing to do with the work that we're doing. It's like, like on one hand, I get it. The algorithm is people. But on the other hand, it's like, you know what? I see what those people buy and I'm not interested. It's like, it's kind of like, on one hand, it's like how you present yourself, that's part of the equation as to whether like people like you enough or attached to you enough that they want to like buy your stuff. But at the same time, it's like the stuff should be able to talk on its own. The stuff, like whatever book that you're selling, should be able to like I don't know, maybe I'm just weird where it's like, you know what, I don't need you to put out like tons of advertising. I just need the advertising enough to tell me that it exists, and then I can know immediately whether I want it or not. I don't need you to tell me anything about it. I don't need to hear your pitch. It's like I can see it right here. I want it, so I'm just gonna buy it. Like you don't need to convince me of anything, right? And it's like, and I think like that's kind of like the part that I kind of have a problem with, like that it's like it always sounds like it's not about like making sure your audience, the people who your potential audience sees you, but like, why do I have to convince you of anything? Like, you should know immediately whether this is something you want or not, right? I shouldn't have to be here singing and dancing or whatever the fuck the kids are doing, or, like rage baiting or whatnot, just a fake engagement, just to get you to buy a comic. Like, I don't know, like it sounds like really backwards. It sounds like really weird. It's like, that's why in the end, it's like I just settled down to like it's like, you know what, all I want to do is just finish my series and that's it. However this goes, it goes. But it's like this whole like, activation and this, that, and the other thing. And, it's like, oh, how do we activate our audience? It's like, if your audience is interested, they're already active. You don't have to, if they're already interested in what you're doing, you don't have to convince them of anything. So that was just like, like a couple, but like, and in the end, it's like, but conversely, you have this woman who's like, oh, I've never done comics before, but but hey, it's like, I'm going to do a comic and I know that my audience is going to buy it regardless, because it could have been anything, and they would have bought it. You know, it's like we've said, it's like, you know, Mr. Beast can come out with a comic and it'll outsell everything.
Right.
Because nobody's buying it because they want the comic. They're buying it because it's that parasocial accessory that ties them to whatever person they want to latch themselves onto, you know? And it's like, I don't know. And it's like, and I just have a hard time like really working in that kind of environment, which is why in the end, it's like, I'm like going, okay, you know what? What'll make it's like, I'll be successful when I finish my comics. That's it. You know, it's like, you know, everything else is just, I don't know. It's like, you know what? Yeah, I'm not going to pretend that I know how to get anything else other than that. You know, than just finishing my book, considering how so few people actually do that. So by finishing my book, I will be doing something that probably 95% of people doing comics don't do. So it's like, you know what? You know, maybe being that 1% that or you know, that 1% that finishes a book, you know, maybe that'll be satisfied. That'll be enough for me. It's like, also, you know, to kind of like, oh, I really didn't want to talk about it, but it's been bothering me ever since I read this thing, that it's just like it really irritating the fuck out of me just thinking about it. And it's like, okay, maybe if I just talk about it, you know, it'll kind of like get it out of my system. Because believe it or not, all that I was just talking about wasn't it. So I was, not to talk about generative AI, generative tech. You know what? I really have to stop using the word AI, because the tech that we're talking about, it's not artificial intelligence. It's generative, predictive, whatever the fuck. It has nothing to do with intelligence or anything.
Right.
It's just glorified Google, and even then, it's not really giving you the information that you need. It's giving you the information that it thinks you want, right? And that's kind of like, you know, I have, you know, and my irritation with Gemini and trying to give me anything of actual value is like the amount of work I have to put into it to get what little I could use is just incredibly frustrating, which is why I can go like long time, like okay, I'll have this novelty right for a couple of days, and then it's like I won't use it for a couple of months, because it's like, why? You're not really giving me of anything of use, right? Of actual use. So, you know, and the thing is, that's like, and I get, you know, and then I get kind of like really tired of people going, oh, it's the future, it's the future, it's the future. It's like, no, it's not the future. You know, this is the garbage now. This is garbage now. This is not the future. This is garbage now. And I came across this article talking about what I pretty much suspected, that there is, like with everything, there is a gender divide between people who use generative tech and people who don't, the adopters and the people who decides like, you know, I'm going to chill on this for a while. And there was an article saying that, no, you're not seeing things. There really is a split, that if women are less likely to adapt to generative tech than men are. In fact, according to Harvard Business School, about 18 studies done by Harvard, women have a 22% lower odds of using generative tech than men do, both at work and in everyday life. And this pattern holds across all countries, sectors, occupations, and tools. So no matter where you are, women are less likely to use it. And of course, you know, people are saying it's like, oh, that's because women are stupid and they don't know technology. They're not familiar with technology, right? But that's the stupid answer, because that's not the answer. Let's see, it's like, you know, and, you know, because we're talking about, you know, when it comes to a lot of these tech companies, there's like not even 10% of the people developing these technologies are women. Very few of them ever make it to the higher echelons of those companies. So it's predominantly men creating technology that pretty much steals from everybody. So it's like, and so the thing about the discrepancy, it's like, okay, so what's causing women to not adapt to this technology the way men are? And there are some other studies that kind of say, like what the real answer is, other than, oh, maybe just chicks don't dig tech, a lot of it has to do with the fact that like, as one other study said, that men are more likely to be very happy to offload thinking processes to a machine than women are. I mean, the joke is kind of like when these tech bros started coming out and building new technologies, it wasn't a coincidence that most of these technologies were based upon repeating, kind of like recreating what their mothers used to do for them. And this is just just another side of that, where it's like a lot, especially when the pet peeve that I have most about using Gen Tech is how the thing keeps insisting on flattering me at every fucking corner. I can come up with the most basic ass question, oh, tell me, how coffee is grown. And it's like, oh, what a brilliant question. And then it's like, bro, I'm just asking you a question. You don't need to suck my dick. Just answer my question. And this is like my experience with using Copilot is the worst of that one. It's like, oh my God, it's like, you have such, brilliant analysis skills. And it's like, yeah, I have to, because you keep giving me the wrong answer on everything. So so it's like, it's part of that where it's like, so this other study was saying that, like, women are more suspicious of this technology because of the fact that it's over flattering. And also we recognize more the societal impacts of tech, while men are less likely to care about that. That's like, they just want the convenience of what the tech can give them, and they don't really care about the societal impact. I mean, it's the reason why we still, to this day, 5 years in, we're still having this conversation as to why artists are not adapting to this, because it's built on stolen content that was used to train without our permission and our consent. So it's like, yeah, we're not going to use it until that gets settled. And even then, there's no reason for us to use it. Right? But people will still argue up and down. It's like, oh, artists are being left behind. And I'm going, left behind where? Left behind where? It's like, what? It's like, so you could stick your art into the child porn machine and then maybe get a half decent animation. I mean, for that only lasts like 15 seconds. I mean, it's like, what am I being left behind? It's like, where am I being left behind? So, so I'm reading all these other things, right? And then I get to the part that really pissed me off. The only good thing about generative searches is inadvertently teaching people science work because of how much you have to research references. Yeah, really, because you can't take that shit for at face value. Because it'll make shit up. And I've had it make shit up, and it had me on wild goose chases until I found the actual information that I needed. And then when you go back to tell the stupid thing, you got this wrong, right? And the shit will literally go, oh, you're right. I got this completely wrong. And it's like, you stupid machine, you have no right to be wrong. You're a machine. So I get to the part of the article that I think really sums it up, right? like this confusion that people seem to have. That's really not confusion because women recognize this immediately. So there was this thing that I had read a long time ago that stuck in my head. Because it was a thing. I don't remember if it was a video or an article where they were talking about the nature of women's humor on the internet and how it's like, why when a woman attempts to be funny on TikTok, that she usually gets a lot of hate comments for that. And what it boiled down to is that if you already believe a woman could never be funny, then any attempt at humor is treated as sincere stupidity. And once I read that, it's like, oh, that explains a lot.
Yeah, bitches can't be funny.
Right. So it's like, so even when you try to be funny, these guys are going to treat you like you're retarded. Because they can't imagine you as funny. So they're not. So when you try to make a joke, they're like going, why are you stupid? Because they don't recognize, they're not going to recognize it as humor in you. They're going to recognize it as stupidity. Well, there's an AI variation to that. So there was a study done by a recent study by Hong Kong Polytechnic University and Peking University, asked more than 1,000 software engineers at a global tech company to evaluate the same Python code snippet and rate both its quality and the author's competence. The only variables were the author's supposed gender, male or female, and whether they used AI assistance. As expected, engineers using AI in general were judged less competent overall. However, the competence penalty hit women twice as hard. Female engineers received a 13% drop in perceived competence for identical work compared with 6% for male engineers. As the researchers commented, the AI assistance is framed as proof of a woman's inadequacy rather than evidence of their strategic use. And in a follow-up study, they found that women at the same company are very much aware of this. Pretty much they had a no shit Sherlock, moment, and in turn contributes to their lower adaptation of generative tech. Because to sum it up, if a guy uses gen tech, oh, he's an innovator. He's being tech forward. But if a woman uses gen tech, oh, well, the bitch didn't know any better anyway. So of course she's going to use AI. She's stupid. So of course she's going to use AI. So I don't know. So this study was kind of like stuck in my craw. Because it's like, because in the end, what the study also said too, that if she doesn't use AI, she's penalized. And if she does use AI, she's doubly penalized. So in the end, it's like, you know what? Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. I don't ever, it's like, don't tell me that, oh, I'm being left behind. It's like, honestly, I'm not being left behind as much as I'm being pushed back here. But honestly, I did read another article that made me feel better after this. So it wasn't an article, it was a video talking about how for everything that we're told that all of a sudden we need generative tech for. Like, you literally can't take a shit without your toilet bowl being AI, enhanced or whatever, right? Like that's what it sounds like, right? That's like this constant push, like, oh, you got to use this because it's like, it's the future, right? Artists are obsolete and this, that, and the other thing. And it's like, but here's the funny thing. You know who's hiring animators and artists suddenly en masse? Luxury brand companies. Prada, Hermes, Porsche. There was another one, Lacoste. They all hired traditional animation companies to make advertising for them. Meanwhile, we're being told that, of course, Coke and Wendy's has to use AI for advertising. It's the future. But all of these luxury brands are hiring actual animation companies, right? They're hiring actual artists. And it's this thing that I have been I've been saying since the beginning of this shit, where it's like, oh, artists are, going to be obsolete and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no, artists are going to become even more valuable the more generative technology is forced onto the people. And I'm going to call it that. It's being forced onto us, because if it was that great of a technology, we would be using it of our own free will. But no, they have to force it on everybody. So, so they were saying how it's like that. So what generative AI in the arts is going to do, that it's going to knock out the mediocre people who thought that they could just do a comic. Who thought that they could, I could just, use Canva and do like really generic stuff, and pretend that I'm a graphic designer. Like, those are the people who are going, that generative tech is going to knock off the plate. Maybe because so many comics, look, there's not great effort went into making them. But you see, the funny thing is that I have to kind of go with a quote from Alan Moore, that it's like, even the shittiest comic requires a lot of effort to make. So the fact that even shitty comics gets made is more of a testament to like the brute force you sometimes have to do to get a comic finished, because most people don't even get that far. Right. Coke spent all the money stealing the ad slots. They had none left for artists and animators. Right. Yeah, exactly. But that's okay. They all got hired by Hermes. It's kind of like how Disney as a company thought that they didn't need Imagineers anymore. That, they're like, oh, we'll just get like, I don't know, some guys from Vegas to design shit, to just plop into the hotels or whatever. And then what happened? It's like Universal came up and snatched up all the engineers. So now if you actually want to see innovation in theme park design, you have to go to Universal, not to Disney. And that's the same thing that's happening. So it's like, so you have all the luxury brands. So what is happening is that we're seeing Gen Tech being used as the new divide for class war. Look, I was just reading a couple of articles, okay? I'm not writing a communist manifesto here, but I might as well while we're here. So the poors are going to get AI art, while the wealthy will get actual artists. And when the wealthy when like, what is it? Like 10% of the population accounts for 60 to 80% of the consumption, right? Whatever the wealthy wants, the wealthy gets. And if the wealthy, they want artists, they will get artists. But they're not going to, they're not hiring the AI companies. They're not hiring some schmuck who can prompt. They're hiring, it's like, we need to see your skill level. Like, skill in what you do is going to be even more important as this tech gets forced onto us. And especially, and it's like I said, it's like, according, to that study, it's like, especially if you're a woman, it's like, it's damned if you do, damned if you don't, but doubly damned if you don't, if you use the tech. because we still live in a society. I don't know. I think, you know what? I think I just turned everybody off by talking about this, but it was just like been bothering me for so long where but it's like, yeah, so it's, so Nita had to go to the bathroom. So, so it's, so it's like, I don't know. So it's like, yeah. So it's like, you know what? My definition of success in comics, I guess, in the end, boils down to me finishing my series, both of them, me finishing Eagle Raven, me finishing Tall Tales, and just kind of like leaving it at that and not worrying about what everyone else is doing in this space because I mentally can't handle it. Right. Yeah, I think like Gucci did like an animated Hermes does some really, really clever stuff in animation. Let's see. It's like, isn't that what we did in the Middle Ages? Good stuff and art for the rich, dirt for the rest of us. Yes, that's exactly where we're heading. That's exactly where we're heading. We're heading back to the medieval times. And you know what? Being cloistered up in a monastery, just drawing dicks with wings in the corner of manuscripts all day seems like a fun time. I'm okay with this. But it's like, yeah, it's like, so it's like skill. Oh, because that was also another article that I read that it was like the future of graphic design, where the people who are really going to succeed as this tech, no kidding, HR, no kidding, that the people who are really going to succeed in this time of this forced technology are people who will still be able to translate. I mean, they're saying that as graphic designers, yeah, you're still going to have to take shit made by AI, but where you're going to shine is being able to take that garbage that the machine gives you and being able to translate that into something that a human made. So editors, so it's like when it comes to text, how you edit AI text, that's going to be the new skill of the future. Taking AI artwork and being able to actually force it to look human, or redoing it to make it look human, like that's going to be the skill of the future. The days of you being able to sit back and choose some clip art in Canva and put shit together, it's like that's going to be over, because it's like that's what the tech does already. Whatever bullshit you're doing, the tech can do. Now your job is to make it human. And if you don't know how to edit, if you don't have the skill to massage this into something that looks human and not generative, you're the ones who are going to be left behind. So it's like, so even with all this talk about, Gen AI, it's gonna take over everything. It's like, no, it's not. It's going to scrape off the mediocre. And those are the people who have to be worried about this shit. Lou says, I'll grab the scroll. I, for one, welcome a return to brewing monastery economy. And spas. That monasteries are actually the first ones to create like kind of like the idea of a spa. So it's like, so yeah, so we can do beer, we can make beer, run spas, and do scroll work in the future. So yeah, so I don't know. You know what? It's good grief. You know what? I'm rambling at this moment. I'm rambling. I mean, what's really, I thought that the topic would give me more more to kind of like stretch out, but it's just, I mean, in the end, what's there to talk about? It's like, people are just going to it's like, when it all boils down, but I think that this is also part of the thing, with like why people just look at comics as something that's easy. They've never done it before. And it's just like, look, it's just Dunning-Kruger effect. That's why most people don't make it to the other side. And what's funny is that thanks to generative tech and people think it's like, oh, being an artist is easy. No, you're not doing anything. You're just typing and just using whatever bullshit the computer is giving you, so on one hand, yeah, it's like going back to Charles Santino's comment, maybe because so many comics look as if not great effort went into making them. And it's like, yeah, but it's like, it's misleading. It's like, even, I mean, because you got to remember, it's like the number one, like, no, it's not the number one. Number one is Transformers, I think, the most funded comic on Kickstarter. Like, number 5 is Order of the Stick. It's like, it's literally a comic made out of stick figures. I mean, so it's like, I don't want to completely dismiss that it's like, well, they look crappy enough. Which again, like, makes people think it's a lot easier than it really is. I mean, like, Order of the Stick, if what it doesn't have in art, it has to make up in storytelling, or else it wouldn't have made several $1 million on Kickstarter. And it's like, and that's, and people find out very easily that it's not easy, which is also the reason why, when I hear, when I hear that, that people think that, that, oh, they want to do comics for the first time, but they don't know where to start. Like, I tell them, do a zine. Right? So do a zine, because a zine is pretty much the same thing as a comic. It requires the same amount of effort. But the thing is, though, it's like, you don't need to be perfect with it. Like, it allows you, it gives you a lot of room for experimentation that maybe like a more traditional comic wouldn't allow for you. Because yeah, it's like, when we put out a comic, people like expect a certain level of professionalism in a comic for it to look a certain way and read a certain way, but a zine is a zine. And it's like, and if you can make a zine, maybe you could make a comic, but how about doing some zines first? And that's also another trend in graphic design too, that's happening. That's like counter to the whole generative tech, is zine is like things that, like, advertising that look like zines, that they look like they were handmade, that they're going back to hand pasting lettering, trying to really give it that handmade look, very layered, very textured, because Gen Tech can't do that. So, that's kind of the trend in graphic design right now. So, so it's like, yeah, so if you're looking for advice on like, well, I want to do a comic, but I've never done it before, where do I start? Do a zine. If you can go from beginning to end and write a story that fits in a zine, you have a good start. And it's a good place to kind of like, kind of figure it out before you start thinking, I have to monetize this immediately. Which I think also is part of the problem too, with why people think making comics is easy. Because yeah, because technically it is easy, we've been talking about that for ages. An actual comic digest like Japan, a bunch of single chapters and one monthly edition. Yeah, there's been a lot of talk about that for years. But the way things are set up here, it's something that's very, very unlikely to ever happen. And also the thing is too, is that it's just the nature of independent comics that we don't run on a schedule. So the idea of having to put out a monthly book like that, it's like you would have a hard time finding people who could keep that schedule, because nobody in the independent scene really does a book on a monthly basis, or does enough work on a monthly basis that they could like do. Someone could put together a magazine like that, but that's a different conversation. But you know, and it's like I don't know. It's it's like, you know what? Like in the end, people are gonna think everything's easy. You know, it's like, you know, you're watching the Olympics and it's like, look, yeah, you're watching the Olympics and there's literally people going, oh, I could do that. And it's like, are you out of your fucking mind? You know, but the thing is like that's the thing with mastery, right? That's the irony of mastery, is that you make it look easy. You know, so if people are looking at what you're doing and saying, I could do that, maybe that's more of a compliment than I'm allowing it to be. You know, that if somebody is just saying, oh, doing comics is easy, it's because we make it look easy, because we've been doing this shit for so long that it's second nature to us. We don't have to really think about it, you know, like storytelling. Because trust me, I've seen enough webtoons to know that the one thing that a lot of these people think is the easy part is just drawing talking heads all day. But it's like they couldn't string together a story structure for the life of them. You know, so it's like the fact, you know, so yeah, so maybe when somebody says, oh, that looks easy, it's like, thanks, I worked 40 years to get to this point. Good luck, babe. Maybe that's just it. Maybe that's the moral of the story. Good luck, babe. Oh my goodness. So you know, so that's, you know what, I think that's all I got. I think I've been rambling enough. You know, I got sidetracked on that article that pissed me off, and it's like I just had to like mention it, just like I said, just to kind of like get it out of my head and, you know, leave it at that. So so thank you everybody for joining us. Nita had to leave early. She had some stuff going on, you know, so we'll all say goodbye for her. But yeah, so thank you, HR Imaginus, Lorraine, Lou, I said HR, Melissa, Charles, you know, everybody who joined us, you know, Joseph, thank you for joining me today, for joining us today and sticking around with me rambling. You know, I know I probably like killed the vibe halfway through the show, but whatever. You know. Oh, and thank you to my beautiful eyeball people for watching, having me in the background, having us in the background, having me in the background, however you want to work, you know, whatever makes you happy. You know, like I said, you could be listening to Spotify as it tries to force Drake songs on you, or you could be just listening to me bitching about shit, you know, whatever it is that comes to mind, you know. I mean, really, that's what happens sometimes. So where am I? Where's my stuff? So so thank you so much for sticking around, for listening, for hanging out with me. So if you want to learn more about me and my artwork and all my other stuff, you can head on over to my main portfolio site. Where is it? At egoworks.com, EGOWORKS, where you can read Ego Raven, Air the First Unicorn for free. But if you prefer your fantasy to be more of a furry Lord of the Rings adventure, you can follow the link over to Tall Tales. That's TAILS online.com, or you can hit the QR codes in the graphics, and you can read the archive of over 1,000 pages of artwork, of storytelling right there. You know, that both websites will keep you busy. And remember also that Ego Raven is on pre-launch right right now. Eagle Raven 12 is in the link is in the comments and in the show notes if you want to make sure you don't miss out on any of the individual issues of Eagle Raven. And also make sure that while you're on any of the websites, where am I? Right here. Just scan this QR code and sign yourself up to my mailing list where you get a bundle of free PDF comics. You get to enjoy Tall Tales, Eagle Raven, and the Oswald Chronicles for free just for signing up. And you'll get to keep up with all of my art, my sketchbooks, my comics, my Kickstarters, and not miss out on anything and not have to worry about being on any dubious platforms that might get you a call from the FBI. Really, it's like, so scan the QR code, get on my mailing list. It's a lot easier to keep up with all my stuff. And that's pretty much it for me. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining me. We'll see you next Monday. I haven't decided if I want to run a live stream this week. You'll definitely know, especially if you're signed up. And if you subscribed to the channel and you get that notification bell. So when I decide to maybe do a stream this Wednesday, you'll know about it and you can hang out 2 hours from 2 to 4, hanging out with me as I work and talk about whatever other nonsense is in my head at the time. So thank you so much again. And in the words of the ancients, eat your food, moisturize, mind your business, and do the work. Because when you actually do the work, you never have to fake any of your accomplishments. Thank you so much again, and we'll see you next time.